Letitia James is flipping out. She's freaking out because guess what? The stakes just got that much higher. It just became that much worse. Letitia's in a whole lot more trouble, believe it or not. If you thought it was bad because she had one house that she was reportedly trying to get a deal on, calling it her primary residence, turns out now she has 2 houses. Oh, and that's not all, because apparently the houses are occupied by some rather dubious folks. Yeah, we told you about one of the houses. This is one of the nieces, the niece who was an absconder. Nakia Thompson apparently was wanted by the law, was supposed to check in with her parole officer down in North Carolina, but she's been blowing that one off. Yeah. And then there's this one's little sister. Yeah. Well, I don't want to cover her up. There she is with all her loot, right? This one apparently has a gig over on OnlyFans and is also in trouble, apparently, with the law. So she's got a couple of them. I mean, this is not a good situation. You get the Attorney General of the state of New York, who allegedly has lied on her bank records. I mean, that's what they're charging her with now. This actually carries up to 60. So I was mistaken. It reportedly carries up to 60 years in federal prison. I have been telling you about something like 30. So it's worse than we thought. And now she's got a couple of nieces that are hanging out in the 2 houses, right? She's got 2 houses, and each one gets a pad. And they are in trouble with the law. So let me get to this story. We've had both the Daily Mail, love them, as well as the New York Post reporting on this. Here's a New York Post graphic. I thought they did a wonderful job with this. A tale of 2 homes. You see, you have Auntie Tishy. She's the mullah, okay, in the family. She's the New York Attorney General, who's actually supposed to go after criminals. Well, she's got one niece named Nakia. It's a grandniece, sorry. Monique Thompson. That's been in serious trouble with the law down in North Carolina. She's the one that's avoiding parole, so she's considered an absconder. That carries with it certain penalties of its own, right? If you're hiding a fugitive, so to speak. And then you've got Kale, yeah, she's the other one. You saw her before with blue hair. Now it's red. I think, she's all over the mulberry bush. She lives in the other house. So there are apparently multiple nieces that have problems with the law. So just to get down into the nitty gritty here, again, the older one, that's her little sister, by the way, the other one that I just showed you. And these are some pretty damning things. And granted, hey, you can't pick your family, but I would say this, there is this little thing called Federal Law 18 U.S.C. 1071, and it basically means that you can't harbor a criminal. You can't knowingly. I mean, you got to prove intent here, but how would the aunt not know that her own niece was in trouble with the law? Just saying, okay? Because if, in fact, she's in trouble with the law, you can't have her hiding out in your house. This is just really, really weird. Whoever harbors or conceals any person for whom a federal arrest warrant has been issued, knowing that such a warrant has been issued with the intent to prevent their discovery or arrest, you face a penalty of up to 5 years in prison and or a fine. If the fugitive is wanted for just a misdemeanor, well, then it would be up to 1 year in prison and or a fine. Now, it could get a little complicated because maybe this is a state case as opposed to a federal case, and so maybe the state of North Carolina is not invoking the same kind of penalties, but just to get down into the dirty aspects of what this is. Here's the one that's like the OnlyFans, what do you call them? I was going to say model, but I don't really think that's appropriate. Anyway, New York Attorney General Letitia James, writes the New York Post, is housing a second criminal family. I mean, not one. She didn't have one house. She had 2. And by the way, both of them are alleged to have had some funny business in terms of the mortgage documents, because she's calling one house her primary residence, she's calling the second house her secondary residence, then she lists them, or at least one of them, on financial documents as financial investments, as income properties. Well, income properties, they have a whole different mortgage rate than, say, a primary residence or even a secondary residence. But anyway, she's got a house, a big family full of criminals, apparently. The Post can reveal that she and her sister were partners in crime, written like the New York Post. James's grandniece, Kayla Thompson Hairston, 21 years old, who is an OnlyFans star. Oh, that's how they characterize it. She was charged in April 2024 with lying about her felony criminal record when she tried to buy a gun in Suffolk, Virginia, according to court docs, because Kayla was legally disqualified from owning a firearm due to an August 2020 felony charge of malicious wounding. Well, what the heck is that? I'm wondering. Well, it turns out Virginia law defines that as someone who shoots, stabs, cuts, or wounds any other person or any means causes bodily injury with the intent to maim, disfigure, disable, or kill. So that's not good. That's not good. But the nieces, like they've been hanging out for a while. Again, they're sisters. Apparently, the 21-year-old who makes a living on OnlyFans, she was getting involved with her sister with problematic things as far back as 15 years old. Again, she had been disqualified from owning that firearm due to those previous charges. So here she is. Again, oopsie daisy. Let's see if we can get her in the picture. Again, 15 years old when she first started getting caught up in these, what they call criminal hijinks of her big sister, Nakia, who is wanted by North Carolina authorities with a slew of arrests. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I mean, like, does it not dawn on you for 2 seconds, Letitia, that you are the Attorney General? And, you know, I'm not saying you got to pick your family. Like, I realize, you know, this is probably not ideal for you. But maybe, like, you should just dot your I's and cross your T's. Maybe you shouldn't be harboring a criminal. Maybe you should actually be saying, okay, you know, you have to go meet with your parole officer in North Carolina. Hey, maybe I buy you a house in North Carolina. I mean, what's the obsession with Virginia? Did you not think that this was going to come out? That's what's amazing. Like, these people are so conceited and so stupid that they don't think any of this is going to come out. Well, here's the deal. It's all coming out. And again, you're harboring effectively an absconder. This is possibly a federal offense. These are the two houses. Remember when Daily Caller a few months ago went to both houses? I remember being kind of confused at the time. I'm like, how many properties does this woman have? Well, take a look. At least 2 in Virginia.
Hi there. I'm
Okay.
a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
Goodbye. You're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids around here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
Don't
because
worry
there's
about who's occupants. That's none of your business.
well there are
trespassing.
connections to
Okay, but
New
you're
York Attorney
trespassing.
General Letitia
That doesn't
James.
matter. You're trespassing.
Are you related to
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
Do you know her?
You're trespassing. Go in the house.
Do you know
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
No? Okay.
You're trespassing.
No comment. Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
come up to my house no more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one.
It's gonna be problems. You can
You will.
record all you want.
Be well.
All right, we'll go to the second house. This is where Kayla lives.
There's a car parked in the driveway.
I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't,
Okay,
but
who lives here?
Who lives here, ma'am?
I have no sympathy.
No comment. Okay.
No sympathy, considering what this woman did. You know what she was up to. We'll seize Trump Tower if we have to, right?
4 days after a judge ordered Donald Trump to pay $355 million for a decade of fraud, New York Attorney General Letitia James says she's prepared to do everything she can to make sure the former president pays his fine, including, she told us, seizing the buildings that bear his name.
She wanted
If he
to.
does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
She was salivating. I mean, she was literally salivating. I heard she was out at Bedminster, like, scoping out the property. Well, guess what? Tissue baby, it didn't work. Who are you going to give that to? Is that going to go to your nieces? Huh? I just ask. Your nieces, who clearly have their own issues, lots of run-ins with the law, and then have chosen a rather dubious career path. I'm just saying, tissue baby, not good, not good, not good. Okay, so again, here's how it unfolds. You get a tale of 2 homes and of 2 nieces. Nakia, who's an absconder, who is in trouble with the law in North Carolina, is supposed to be checking in with parole officer. She takes off, and she gets housed, courtesy of Auntie Tish, in one Virginia house. And then next door, you got the other one, Kayla, hanging out there, and she's also got her issues with the law. So it's really pretty seedy stuff. It's pretty bad. And yet, Tish, she had to respond to this. This is new tape that just came in, and I want you to see this because she's super low-key. Don't forget how worked up she was the other night at the Mamdami Comrade Mamdami rally. Oh, did you see that debate? Loser, bad guy. Would be bad for New York. Hopefully New York doesn't do something really stupid, but you never know. Anyway, Tishy decided to react, and she was quite measured in her reaction.
I would say what she said. But first of all, the decision was based on the Administrative Procedure Act, an arbitrary and capricious act by this agency, an unlawful act. And so too is the indictment. It's baseless. It's nothing more than retribution. Retribution for basically doing my job. For doing my job following a 2-year investigation and a congressional hearing. It wasn't political. It was based on facts and the application of the evidence. And the judgment was sustained. The amount of the disgorgement was what was dismissed. But the judgment remains. And so at this point in time, we will vigorously defend those charges, those baseless charges. My arraignment, as you know, is next Friday. I visit Norfolk quite frequently. My family is in Norfolk. I love my family. And I will defend these charges. And I want everyone to know that it is completely baseless and I am totally innocent. Thank you.
Okay, here's the thing. I mean, there's like multiple charges, okay? I'm going to get you to the mortgage document that she signed saying that she was just applying for a secondary home loan, which then later in another document turns out to be an income property. And then, of course, don't forget, this is the woman that keeps wanting you to think that she's so darn innocent. She couldn't have done anything wrong. I mean, remember when she went on an MSNBC podcast? You know, that's her favorite territory, and said, this, I promise you, 100% will not result in an indictment. Well, guess what, Tishy? We got news for you. You're indicted. You're facing up to 60 years in the slammer.
To these baseless allegations at the appropriate time and in the appropriate way. But I am 100% confident that it will not result in any criminal indictment or action.
Oh, really? Okay, because I'm 100%. And I mean 100% confident. It just did. Yeah, you've been criminally indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia for lying on your bank records for alleged mortgage fraud, honey pie.
Against me, and that it is nothing more than a revenge tour, and that Donald Trump just ultimately got to the J's, and I was next.
The key allegation, again, it sounds like you don't want to address them here, but I'm just going to put it out so people understand that a property that was owned in Virginia, a mortgage that you signed, if I'm not mistaken, for that property, that they say you falsely represented yourself as a resident of Virginia, and that was essentially amounts to mortgage fraud since you're a resident of New York. What is your response to that?
It's baseless. Everybody knows I'm a resident of New York, specifically Brooklyn. And again, we will respond at the appropriate time in the appropriate way to these baseless allegations. And some media outlets like the Daily News over the weekend has indicated as much.
Okay, so you say it's baseless.
That's all you want to
say. And that's what, so Chris Hayes is like, so that's all you want to say? And she says, yeah. So she's since come forward and said this is just a clerical error. Her power of attorney screwed up. I'm sorry. Like, you're an attorney. You're the attorney general of the state of New York. We shouldn't be having screw ups from your power of attorney. But here's the thing. It's not just once, but twice. Oh, and then there was that third time. Well, actually a fourth time, because we can go back 25 years. Don't believe me. We're going to.